Sunday dinner. Your uncle asks the question before the food is served. Your mother's hand stops over the rice bowl. You feel it in your jaw first, the tightening, the small automatic calculation that happens before your brain catches up. How much to say? How much to subtract? Which number closes the door fastest? You give him a number. It is not the real one. It is never the real one. You have been doing this since your first paycheck, at dinner tables, at weddings, on phone calls that were supposed to be about something else. 47 times the question came. 47 times your jaw tightened and your brain did the calculation, and a smaller number came out. Nobody ever caught you. Nobody ever knew. This is what the real number was, and what the silence built. $0. You're 22, your first job, $1,800 a month after tax. The number feels large for exactly 4 days. Then rent goes out, then groceries, then the bus pass, then the phone bill your parents still do not know you are paying yourself. What is left is $200. You count it twice. The second count never changes anything. A Sunday dinner. Your mother passes the rice. Your uncle, your father's older brother, and sits at the head of the table the way he always sits, like the chair was built for him specifically. Your uncle says, "So, how is the job going? How much are you making?" The table goes quiet the way tables go quiet when everyone already knows a question is not really a question. You feel your mother's eyes without looking at her. You feel your father shift in his chair. You say, "I've just started. It is going fine." Your uncle nods slowly. The nod of a man who has already decided what your answer means. He says, "My son was making $2,500 in his first year. There is some scope in engineering." He does not ask what you are making. He tells you what his son made. The comparison arrives dressed as conversation. Your cousin is not at the table. Your cousin does not need to be at the table. Your cousin lives at the table permanently, in every conversation, in every comparison. The standard against which you are quietly measured every Sunday without anyone admitting that is what is happening. You eat your food. You say nothing. After dinner, your mother finds you in the kitchen. She speaks quietly. She says, "You should have told them." What would happen? You look at her. You almost say it. Then your uncle laughs at something in the other room, loud, the laugh of a man who is comfortable everywhere he sits. You rinse your plate. You say, "It does not matter, Mom. It is fine." Her hand is still holding the dish towel. She does not say anything else. She goes back. That night you lie in your apartment and do the math that nobody at that table knows you're doing. $200 left. $200 that has to last until the 28th. You think about your cousin and his $2,500. You think about the way your uncle said it. Not like information, like a verdict. You stare at the ceiling for a long time. The number changed nothing at that table. The silence did. $2,000 a month, you're 24, better job, different apartment. The buzzer works now, a phone call, Tuesday evening. Your father does not call to ask for things. Your father calls to hear your voice and then to ask for things indirectly by mentioning them 3 times in a row, hoping you will offer. This Tuesday he mentions your cousin's wedding. He mentions the family contribution. He mentions it a 3rd time and then waits. You say, "Yes, Dad, I will pay it." He asks how much you can manage. You think about your account. $340 left until the end of the month. The wedding's in 6 weeks. Nothing is always going wrong. You say, "I will pay $300. Your father is quiet for 1 second too long. He says, "Okay, my son." He hangs up before you can say anything else. You sit with the phone in your hand. It is fine. The 2 words that mean nothing is fine. The 2 words your family uses when they have run out of ways to ask what they actually want to know. You open your banking app. You move $300 to the side immediately so you stop seeing it in your balance. $2,000 a month, minus rent, minus bills, minus $300 for a wedding you can barely afford to attend. What is left is never enough. But you said $300 because you could not say the real number. The real number would have generated a different conversation. A longer one. One that started with, "How much are you actually making?" And you were not ready for that conversation. The number changed. The silence never did. $5,000 a month. You are 27. You did not tell anyone about the raise. Not immediately. You sat with it for 3 days. You opened your payslip 4 times in those 3 days. Not to check the number. You already knew the number. You opened it to practice feeling like you deserved it before anyone else found out about it. Then you decided. You told your mother you got a small increase. You used the word small deliberately. Small is a door that closes before anyone can walk through it. Your mother told your father told your uncle. Your uncle called you that weekend. He said, "I heard you got a promotion." You said, Yeah, a small one. He said, "How much?" You said, "Not much," still figuring things out. He was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "My son had an opportunity like that once. He didn't take it. He should learn from you. 3 years ago, your cousin was the example. Now you are." The table rotates. The comparison never stops. You held the phone against your ear and felt something move through you that was not quite anger and not quite sadness. Your cousin, the same cousin who was always ahead, had fallen behind somewhere in the last 2 years. A business that did not work, a loan that did not clear. Now you were the example. You did not feel good about it. You felt something colder than good. You felt seen for the wrong reason at exactly the wrong time. That evening you opened your laptop, your investment account. $11,000 sitting there, quiet, doing what it does. $11,000 that no one at any dinner table knew existed. You looked at it for a long time. Then you closed the laptop. A co-worker named James sat next to you that week. James was 31. James grew up 3 cities away from his family. James talked about money the way people talk about weather, casually, openly, without bracing for impact. James mentioned his salary once in a conversation like it was a fact about the world. Just said it. No lowering, no adjusting, no small deliberately. You watched his face after he said it. Nothing happened to his face. You had never seen that before. A number leaving someone's mouth without taking something with it. You drove home that evening and said your real number out loud in the car, just to hear what it sounded like with no one listening. It sounded fine. It sounded like just a number. You had forgotten numbers could do that. $10,000 a month. You're 30. A family dinner, someone's birthday. The table is full. The food is good. The conversation is the same conversation it has always been with different names in different slots. Your aunt leans across the table. She says, "So what's the plan? You settled financially." The table listens without looking like it is listening. You say, "Yeah, things are okay." Your aunt says, "If you ever need anything, just say the word. We're here." You look at her face. She genuinely means it. That is the part that makes it harder. She does not know that your monthly income is more than what your father made in his best year. She does not know about the investment account. She does not know that you have not needed anyone's help in 4 years. She thinks she's offering you something. You smile. You say thank you. You look down at your plate. Your jaw is tight. Not because she asked, because you have been sitting at this table for 8 years performing a version of yourself that stopped being true a long time ago. You take out your phone under the table. You open your banking app. The number is there. $127,000 in investments. $10,000 coming in next Friday. You think about turning the screen toward your aunt, just for 1 second, just so someone at this table knows. Your thumb hovers. Then your uncle says something to your father across the table and the moment closes. You lock the screen. You put the phone back. You pick up your fork. The number is still there. It will be there tomorrow. It will be there next Sunday. Nobody at this table will ever see it. And for the first time in 8 years, you're not sure if that is protecting them or punishing yourself. The number changed. The silence never did. $25,000 a month. You're 34. You stopped counting the lies somewhere around year 6. Not because they got easier, because they stopped feeling like lies. They became the language. The way you talked about money with your family was its own dialect now. You said okay, and they heard struggling. You said managing, and they heard needs help. You said nothing, and they heard same as always. Nobody corrected the translation, including you. A Wednesday evening, your mother calls. She sounds careful the way she sounds careful when she's about to say something she's been holding for a while. She says your uncle is coming tomorrow. He needs something. She already told him you would help. You close your eyes before she finishes the sentence. You already know what he needs. It is always the same thing. You say, "How much?" She's quiet for 1 second. She says, $2,000, just for a little while. Just for a little while. You have heard just for a little while 11 times in 6 years. The money never comes back. Not because your uncle is a bad man, because just for a little while is not a timeline. It is a feeling, and feelings do not have due dates. You say, "Okay, I'll send it." You hang up before she can say thank you. You open your banking app. Your monthly income last month was $26,400. You send $2,000 to your mother's account in 40 seconds. Then you sit in your apartment. The good one now, the quiet one, the one with the view you never described to anyone in your family, because describing it would have required explaining how you got here, and you feel something you do not have a name for yet. Not anger, not generosity. Something in between that has no word in any language you speak. Your phone buzzes, a notification from your investment account. $340 added while you were sitting here. In the time it took to send $2,000 to your uncle, your investments quietly made $340 doing nothing at all. You look at both numbers on the same screen for a long time. You think about saying something to someone. There is no one to say it to. You put the phone face down. A Saturday afternoon. A friend named Aaron. You have known Aaron for 6 years. Aaron grew up far from his family. Aaron is the only person in your life who knows the real number. Not because you plan to tell him. Because one evening 3 years ago you were tired. The specific kind of tired that has nothing to do with sleep. And it came out. Aaron did not react the way you expected. He did not ask for anything. He did not recalibrate the way you had watched every other person recalibrate when a number entered the room. He just said, "That must be exhausting, carrying that alone." 4 words that landed somewhere you did not know was open. Carrying that alone. You had never thought of it as carrying. You thought of it as surviving. Aaron said, "The money is not the secret. The silence is the secret. And secrets are heavy whether or not anyone asks about them." You looked at your coffee cup. You thought about 47 dinners, 47 questions. 47 versions of a number that was never the real number. Aaron picked up his cup. He said, "You don't have to tell them everything, but at some point you have to decide, are you protecting them, or are you protecting a version of yourself that doesn't exist anymore?" You did not answer that day. You're still not sure you have answered it. $1 million. You are 38. Net worth, not income. The number your 22-year-old self would not have believed if you had told him. The one who counted $200 twice on a Tuesday night. The one who sent $300 to a wedding he could not afford. That version of you built this, in silence. One ignored question at a time. A Sunday dinner, same table, same rice, same uncle at the head of the chair that was built for him specifically. Your cousin is there now, quieter than he used to be. The business is behind him. The loan is behind him. He eats without talking much. You catch his eye once across the table. Something passes between you that neither of you says out loud. You both know things about money that this table will never discuss. Your aunt leans across. She says, "How are things going?" "Really going?" The table listens without looking like it is listening. You hold your fork. You think about Aaron. You think about carrying that alone. You think about what it would actually sound like if you told the truth right now at this table. You run it in your head. I have $1 million. It grew in the silence between every question you asked that I never answered honestly. You hear it in your head. It does not sound like relief. It sounds like an accusation. So you say nothing. You say, "Things are good." You pick up your glass. You drink. Across the table, your cousin looks at his plate. Your uncle refills his glass. Your mother glances at you from the kitchen door. Just for a second. The way she has glanced at you for 16 years. Like she knows something she has never been given permission to say out loud. You look back at her. You almost say it this time. You almost say all of it. The number. The accounts. The $340 that arrived while you sent $2,000. The 47 questions. The 47 answers that were never answers. Your uncle says something to your father. The moment passes. You look back at your plate. Somewhere right now, a 22-year-old is sitting at a dinner table. First job, $1,800 a month. Uncle at the head of the chair. The question is coming. He can feel it before it arrives. His hand tightens around his fork. He is already preparing the smaller number. The safer one, the one that closes the door before anyone walks through it. He does not know yet what that silence will cost him, and what it will quietly build. Both things will be true at the same time, and he will be the only one living inside them. The number changed at every level. The silence never did.